How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. We also got to put in a disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. So today we're going to be talking about Ocugen, ticker symbol OCGN, which they ended up releasing their financial results and business highlights. So before I get started, like I do in all my videos, let's go over the agenda. You can also find timestamps down below in the description as well. So the first thing we'll go over are the financial results and business highlights. There is information in there in regards to Covaxin, as well as how is OCGN doing financially. Second thing, then we're going to be doing a technical analysis. We're seeing a lot of sharp moves in price action, and I want to make sure you guys are prepared going into next week. You want to know where those support levels are and as well as those resistance levels. I think it is key, especially if you're doing any short-term trades or swing trades. And then after that, we're going to be taking a look at the institutional ownership. We want to see, hey, have institutions been buying in recently? We're also going to be taking a look at the short interest information. Is there any short squeeze potential in OCGN stock? Hell, we're going to be finding out today. And then when all of that is done, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts. So let's get to it. So we're on Globe Newswire, and we're going to be going over the business update and the financial results for OCGN. So Ocugen provides business update and first quarter 2021 financial results. Covaxin demonstrates 100% efficacy against severe COVID-19 disease, including hospitalization. Master file submitted for U.S. FDA review prior to a planned emergency use authorization application for Covaxin. $100 million in gross proceeds raised through a registered direct offering of common stock, and key talent acquired, representing an instrumental step to position Ocugen for future growth. OCGN, a biopharmaceutical company focused on discovering, developing, and commercializing gene therapies to cure blindness diseases and developing a vaccine to save lives from COVID-19, today reported first quarter 2021 financial results along with a general business update. We continue our dedication to help save lives from COVID-19 by bringing Covaxin to the U.S. market while simultaneously driving our ophthalmology gene therapy pipeline toward the clinic. We shared compelling second interim analysis results of Bharat Biotech's phase 3 clinical trial in India, as well as positive data from its in vitro studies regarding Covaxin's ability to neutralize emerging variants. We continue to make progress toward emergency use authorization for Covaxin while also considering clinical development in special populations such as children and as well as booster doses. We are delighted to have raised additional capital to fund our ongoing and future operations and to allow us to recruit key talent during this important stage of our growth, said Dr. Shankar Mansanuri, Chairman and CEO and co-founder of Ocugen. So we'll go over the business highlights very quickly here because many of us are aware of this. So in April 2021, Ocugen announced that its co-development partner, Bharat Biotech International, shared positive results from the second interim analysis of its phase 3 clinical trial of Covaxin, showing 78% overall efficacy against COVID-19 disease and 100% efficacy against severe COVID-19 disease, including hospitalization, and 70% efficacy against asymptomatic COVID-19 infection, indicating the potential to significantly reduce virus transmission. Covaxin has additionally demonstrated a remarkable safety profile with several million doses administered to date in India. Moreover, in vitro studies conducted by the Indian Council of Medical Research National Institute of Virology have provided data suggesting effectiveness in neutralizing the double mutant India variant, the UK variant, and the Brazil variant. Based on broad immunogenicities, Ocugen believes that Covaxin has the potential to be effective against other emerging variants. Covaxin is based on proven technology, and Ocugen plans to consider clinical development in special populations such as children and as well as booster doses. The second highlight, continued progress toward the U.S. emergency use authorization. This is what a lot of us want to get an update on. So Ocugen is currently in discussions with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration regarding development of Covaxin and and has submitted key information and data to date as a master file for FDA review prior to a planned EUA application once additional data is received from Bharat Biotech from the ongoing phase 3 clinical trial. Ocugen is additionally in discussions with the Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority, commonly known as BARDA, regarding the U.S. government's support of Covaxin. They also go in to talk about capital raise. We went over that as well, but they kind of go into the second part of this paragraph. The registered direct offering generated net proceeds of $93.4 million after deducting placement agent fees and other offering expenses payable by Ocugen, further strengthening Ocugen's balance sheet and further extending its cash run rate. Like I said, I skipped that part just for the fact that we already knew that they did the offering at $10 per share and so forth. The next highlight is in regard to hiring significant key talent. So Ocugen has increased its headcount to 26 full-time employees as of the date of this press release, including the addition of John Paul Gabriel as the Senior Vice President of Manufacturing and Supply Chain. Mr. Gabriel is established in biopharma and vaccines operations leader who will be instrumental in the technology transfer from Bharat Biotech for the manufacture of Covaxin for the U.S. market. Ocugen will provide to expand its headcount this year as necessary for the development and commercialization of Covaxin and the advancement of the ophthalmology pipeline into the clinic. So the next highlight is in regards to their ophthalmology pipeline. So this is the core part of their business. Ocugen's ophthalmology pipeline continues to advance toward the initiation of 4-phase half clinical trials by the end of 2022, including OCU400, Ocugen's lead gene therapy candidate, entering the clinic in the second half of this year. Ocugen has continued to make progress in preclinical development, including sharing promising preclinical results for OCU200 at the Wet Age-Related Macular Degeneration Conference in April 2021. Now let's go over their financial results. So Ocugen's cash equivalents, and restricted cash totaled $44.9 million as of March 31st, 2021, compared to $24.2 million as of December 31st, 2020. Ocugen had 188.2 million shares of common stock outstanding as of March 31st, 2021. Research and development expenses for the 3 months ended March 31st, 2021 were $2.9 million compared to $1.7 million for the 3 months ended March 31st, 2020. General and administrative expenses for the 3 months ended March 31st, 2021 were $4.2 million compared to $2.3 million for the 3 months ended March 31st, 2020. Ocugen reported a 0.04 net loss per share for the 3 months ended March 31st, 2021, compared to 0.07 net loss per share for the 3 months ended March 31st, 2020. So that was the overall business update and as well as financial results for OCGN. Like I was saying previously, no one was really expecting anything stellar in regards to financials, but also we do need to keep in mind it was great to get an update in regards to Covaxin, manufacturing, and how they're going to be handling it and so forth. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for Ocugen OCGN, which ended up closing today at $9.19, being down 4.12% on the day. On the low, it tested $7.61, and then on the high, testing $9.86. So one of the things that we want to go over was seeing how well OCGN can hold up this $9 level. We spoke about this, and you know what? It did a good job actually doing that. Yes, it did end up breaking right through it and getting down here to $7.61. But one thing I want you guys to be aware of, even if you take a look at the RSI in a technical sense, this is well below 30. And due to the fact that, hey, I know a lot of people were already going to know what the earnings were going to look like for OCGN anyways, so a rebound was definitely not surprising to see, but it also did provide a move that was well above the 21-day EMA as well. Hold up for a little bit, but as we got closer to the end of the day, of course, we ended up selling off here and closing at $9.19. So what would be great in after hours would be actually to finish above the 21-day EMA at $9.43. But if that doesn't happen, that is okay. We already know this stock is dependent on a variety of factors like catalysts, right? So if we end up getting those catalysts, we can look forward to seeing a strong move, and I wouldn't be surprised being the reclaim of the 100-day and going even further. And this is in regards to the EUA and as update in regards to the FDA approval as well. Now, the next thing that we need to take into consideration, if things do not go well, or if we don't get any updates, then as far as downward risk, I would definitely look out for this $8 area to be retested on a pullback, and also as well keeping an eye right here at this 760 area, also keeping an eye right here around $7.15, and then also if it does decide to pull back even further, you want to see how well $7 actually holds up. So those are the particular levels that you want to look out for, and just know I share these with you. If you're in this play, it's in regards to making sure you're minimizing your downside risk here. But as far as upside is concerned, you guys already know where this could go if we get the news that we need to hear. So we're on fintel.io. We're going to be taking a look at the institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information for OCGN. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So you can see here as of May the 7th, we have Cypress Capital Management LLC going in with 850 shares. So not a huge position from what we saw from Savant Capital back on May the 4th, but it's also something interesting to see, and we're definitely looking forward to see what things are going to be looking like and whether institutions are going to be loading up next week. So as we take a look at the short interest information, the short volume ratio is at 28%, so there's definitely some short squeeze potential here. We know anything 21% or higher indicates that. And what this looks like in perspective, and this is taken into consideration May the 6th, with 83 million, or let's call that 83.4 million shares traded, 23.5 million of those shares were actually sold short. So that's pretty high. And if we take a look at the short shares availability, it stands at 2.1 million, and the short borrow free rate stands at 3.93%. So now if we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, it's definitely been high, and we've been seeing that for quite some time by covering OCGN on this channel. You can see as of April the 23rd, going all the way to May the 6th, it's definitely consistently being above 21%. As we see in the 30s, that is very high. We saw it on May the 5th, it was at 31.29, and now on May the 6th, being at 28.19, going down a little bit, is one thing I want to continue to keep an eye on, especially going into next week, because we do waiting for those catalysts for OCGN as well. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, I'm definitely not surprised with the performance we saw today inside the market. We know it's dependent on certain catalysts coming through. The longer that gets delayed, the more pressure we're going to be seeing on the stock price. Anyone who's an investor should not be concerned whatsoever, but if you are doing short-term trades or swing trades, I want to remind you, always protect your profits. There's a lot of volatility in this stock, and that's something you need to keep at the top of your mind. We did see that the stock price getting down to the $7.60 area, but it ended up rebounding very well with a lot more buying pressure and a lot of FOMO being mixed in. We know they did the direct offering at $10, so when it did get down to that $7 range, that was definitely a buying opportunity, and it's part of the reasons why I'm not surprised many people scooped that up. We could also see there was a lot of large-scale orders today, and I do bet on the fact that they took advantage of that dip. In regards to what to look for next week, hey, we need to get an update on the news. What's going on with the EUA? In regards to the financial performance, let's be honest here. We knew it wasn't going to be the greatest. Also on top of that, in regards to the earnings and them talking about the core base of their business in regards to gene therapies and curing blindness, we're not in this stock for that particular reason. We're in this for Covaxin, and they know that already. That's part of the reasons why they really did put a good portion of that report talking about Covaxin. But just to continue to go on further, it's great to see that the money that they were able to raise, they got some new management in, and they're actually putting the money to use that will help with the manufacturing process and distribution process of getting Covaxin into US. But we'll look forward to it. We'll see what happens. Can't wait for Monday. Be talking to you guys real soon.